Jeremiah 51. I read from the Institute for Scripture Research, the ISR, because it takes a direct translation from Hebrew to English, Greek to English, and Aramaic to English. Yah is short for Yahweh, YahWeh, Yod-He, Vod-He. There's no difference. Yah is the Elohim of the heavens and the earth, the first and the last and the only. Yah is an extremely jealous El. He doesn't even want the names of idols or mighty ones to come to our lips. And the letter J is about 600 years old, while the son of Elohim, Yehoshua, died on a stake for the sins of all of humanity more than 2,000 years ago. And a direct translation between Hebrew and English, Yehoshua is Joshua. Jeremiah 51. Thus said Yahweh, see, I am stirring up the spirit of a destroyer against Babel, against those who dwell in Leb, L-E with a half a check mark, B, who dwell in Leb, my opponents, and I shall send winnowers. That's another word I keep forgetting to look up. W-I-N-N-O-W-E-R-S, winnowers. And I shall send winnowers to Babel, who shall winnow her and empty her land, for they shall be against her all around in the day of evil, this day and age. Let the archer draw his bow, and let him stand ready in his armor. Do not spare her young men. Put all her army under the ban, and the slain shall fall in the land of the Kasdim, and the pierced through in her streets, for neither Israel nor Yehuda is widowed by his Elohim Yahweh of hosts, though their land has been filled with sin against the set-apart one of Israel. Flee from the midst of Babel, and let each one save his life. Do not be cut off in her crookedness, for this is the time of the vengeance of Yahweh, the recompense, R-E-C-O-M-P-E-N-S-E. The recompense, he is repaying her. Babel was a golden cup in the land of Yahweh, making drunk all the earth. The nations drank her wine. That is why the nations went mad. Babel shall suddenly fall and be broken. Howl for her. Take balm, B-A-L-M. Take balm for her pain. If so be she might be healed. We would have healed Babel, but she is not healed. Let us leave her, and each go to his own land, for her judgment reaches to the heavens and is lifted up to the clouds. Yahweh has brought forth our righteousness. Come and let us relate to Sion the work of Yahweh our Elohim. Polish the arrows, put on the shields. Yahweh has stirred up the spirit of the sovereigns of the Medes, M-E-D-E-S, for his plan is against Babel to destroy it, because it is vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his hekel. H-E with a half a check mark, K with a line underneath of it, A-L. Lift up a banner on the walls of Babel, strengthen the watch, station the watchman, prepare the ambush, for Yahweh has both planned and done what he spoke concerning the inhabitants of Babel. You who dwell upon many waters, great in treasures, your end has come, the measure of your greedy gain. Yahweh of hosts has sworn by himself, I shall certainly fill you with men as with locusts, and they shall lift you up a shout against you, He made the earth by his power. He established the world by his wisdom, and stretched out the heavens by his understanding. When he gives forth his voice, the waters of the heavens roar, and he makes vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He makes lightnings for the rain, and he brings the wind out of his treasuries. All mankind has become too brutish to know. Every smith has been put to shame by the carved image, for his molded image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. They are worthless, a work of mockery. In the time of their punishment they perish. The portion of Jacob.
How's it going?
Pretty good. I'm just doing a video.
Oh, sorry.
No problem.
I'm gonna take a before and after picture.
Okay. What was that? They are worthless, a work of mockery. In the time of their punishment they perish. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the maker of all, and Israel is the tribe of his inheritance. YahWeh of hosts is his name. You are my battle axe, weapons of battle, and with you I shall break nations in pieces, and with you I shall destroy reigns. And with you I shall break in pieces the horse and its rider, and with you I shall break in pieces the chariot and its rider, and with you I shall break in pieces man and woman, and with you I shall break in pieces old and young, and with you I shall break in pieces the young man and the maiden, and with you I shall break in pieces the shepherd and his flock, and with you I shall break in pieces the farmer and his yoke of oxen, and with you I shall break in pieces governors and rulers, and I shall repay Babel and all the inhabitants of Chaldea, Chaldea, for all the evil they have done in Sion before your eyes, declares YahWeh. See, I am against you, O destroying mountain, who destroys all the earth, declares YahWeh. And I shall stretch out my hand against you, and I shall roll you down from the rocks, and make you a burnt mountain. And they shall not take for you a stone for a corner, or a stone for a foundation, but you shall be a waste forever, declares YahWeh. Lift up a banner in the land, blow a shofar among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call the reigns together against her. Arat, Ararat, Mini, Minni, and Ashkenaz, Ashkenaz. Appoint a commander against her, bring up horses like a hairy locust, separate the nations against her, with the sovereigns of the Medes, its governors, and all its rulers, all the land of his rule, so that the land shakes and wreathes in pain, Writhes, and wreathes in pain. For every plan of YahWeh shall be established against Babel, to make the land of Babel a ruin, without inhabitant. The mighty men of Babel have ceased to fight. They remained in their strongholds. Their might has failed. They became like women. They have burned their dwelling places. The bars of her gate have been broken. I don't know what they mean whenever they say they have become like women. I honestly have no idea. And we can't just jump to conclusions and just assume we're right because we don't know. So I'm just gonna keep reading. One runner has to meet another, and one reporter to meet another, to report to the sovereign of Babel that his city is taken on all sides, and the fords have been captured, and they have burned the reeds with fire, and the soldiers are startled. For thus said YahWeh of hosts, the Elohim of Israel, the daughter of Babel is like a threshing floor at the time it is trodden. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. I believe he's talking about the Revelations right there. Nebuchadrezzar, the sovereign of Babel, has devoured us. He has crushed us. He has made us an empty vessel. He has swallowed us up like a monster. He has filled his stomach with the delicacies. He has driven us away Let the violence done to me and my flesh be upon Babel, says the inhabitant of Sion, and let my blood be upon the inhabitants of Chaldea, says Jerusalem. Therefore thus said Yahweh, see, I am pleading your case, and I shall take vengeance for you, and dry up her sea, and make her fountain dry, and Babel shall become a heap, a habitation of jackals, and astonishment, and a hissing without inhabitant. Together they roar like lions, they shall growl like lions as cubs. In their heat I pray their feasts, and I shall make them drunk, so that they rejoice and sleep, and a never-ending sleep, and not awake, declares Yahweh. Sounds like dying. If you go to sleep and you never wake up, it sounds like dying, even though you're technically alive still. Declares Yahweh, I shall bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with male goats. Oh, how Sheshach has been captured. SHE with a half a check mark, SHAK with a line underneath of it, has been captured. The praise of all the earth been seized. How Babel has become a ruin among the nations. The sea has risen over Babel. She has been covered with the roaring of its waves. Her cities have become a ruin, a dry land and a desert, a land where no one dwells, neither does son of man pass by it. And I shall punish Bel in Babel, and I shall make him spew out what he has swallowed. The nations shall no longer stream to him. Even the wall of Babel shall fall. Come out of her midst, my people, and let everyone deliver his being from the burning displeasure of Yahweh. And lest your heart grow faint, and you fear the report heard in the land, for a report shall come 1 year, and after that in another year a report shall come, and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Therefore see, the days are coming that I shall bring punishment on the carved images of Babel, and all her land shall be put to shame, and all her slain fall in her midst. In the heavens and the earth and all that is in them shall shout for joy over Babel, for the ravengers shall come to her from the north, declares Yahweh, as Babel is to fall for the slain of Israel. So for Babel the slain of all the earth shall fall. So for Babel the slain of all the earth shall fall. You who have escaped the sword, go away, do not stand still. Remember Yahweh from afar, and let Jerusalem come to your heart. We are ashamed because we have heard reproach. Shame has covered our faces. For strangers have come into the set-apart places of the house of Yahweh. Therefore see, the days are coming, declares Yahweh, that I shall bring punishment on her carved images, while the wounded groan throughout all her land. Though Babel should mount to the heavens, and though she should make the height of her strength inaccessible, ravengers shall come to her from me, declares Yahweh. Listen, a cry from Babel, and great destruction from the land of the Kasdim, declares Yahweh. Because Yahweh is ravaging Babel, and shall silence her loud voice, and her waves shall roar like great waters. The noise of their voice shall resound, because the ravager shall come against her. Yeah, I have to rub you at the same time. Because the ravager shall come against her, against Babel, and her mighty men shall be captured. Every one of their bows shall be broken. For Yahweh is the El of recompense. He shall certainly repay. And I shall make her rulers drunk, and her wise men, her governors, and her deputies, and their mighty men, and they shall sleep a lasting sleep, and not awake, declares the Sovereign, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. Thus said Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babel are completely demolished, and her high gates are burned with fire, and the peoples labor in vain, and the nations weary themselves for fire. The word that Jeremiah the prophet commanded Syria, son of Neriah, son of Maaseiah, Mah with a dot, Se with a half a check mark, Yah, when he went with Sidkiah the sovereign of Yehuda to Babel in the 4th year of his reign, and Syria was a quartermaster, Serayah, Syria. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that would come upon Babel, all these words which have been written concerning Babel. And Jeremiah said to Syria, when you come to Babel and see it, and read all these words, then you shall say, O YahWeh, you have spoken concerning this place to cut it off, so that none shall dwell in it, neither man nor beast, for it is a ruin forever. And it shall be, when you have ended reading this book, that you shall tie a stone to it and throw it into the midst of the Euphrates, and shall say, so does Babel sink and not rise from the evil that I am bringing upon her, and they shall weary themselves. Thus far are the words of Jeremiah.